Alright, now now you have completed part 1 of today's ADM. So now part 2 is a challenge for you to create maybe a more sophisticated security. So of course, one digit you can get it done up very fast. You just need to try a few times and you get the answer. So actually, to have a better security, you will probably need around, you can use control and paste. You can have text box 1, 2, 3, and 4. You might want to have 4 text box so that the security is much higher. They need to at least key in a few thousand times before they can get your password. So how do we get the if for 2 digits? Let's just try 2 digits. Once I can finish 2 digits, maybe you want to try 3 digits. Alright, let's change the submit now. So if text box 1 is the text inside is 1, and okay, let's try and see whether it works. And maybe text box 2 dot text is equal to 2. Alright, then we will show. So now we have set the programming so that this button, once it's clicked, it will look for a 1 in text box 1 and 2 in text box 2 before it shows you form 2. Let's see whether it works. Let's start the compiling. So now you see that there is a 1. But what if I guess the second one to be 1? Once I submit, there might be no result, but it would be good to show the people that there's an error. So you might want to show an error message here if you want to, so else no one will know. So let's try number 2. So I click submit 1 1, nothing happened. If I click 1 2 and submit, you realize it's a success. They went to form 2. So remember to off this stop debugging button. So how do I show an error message? So let's try. If this is true, then we do this. I'm going to add in an else function. So else will happen only if the if statement is not fulfilled. That means if text box 1 is not 1 and text box 2 is not 2, okay, or either one is not true, then I may want to have a message box. Let's see whether it's possible. Message box is a little bit not possible. I'll just display an error message here. Let's use a label, and label 2 we just put it to be empty at the moment. Just know that there's a label 2 here. So label 2, once it's incorrect, else if it's not correct, label 2 dot text will display a error message, wrong passcode or something like that. Try again. So let's try. So right now, once it runs the program, and if I key in wrongly 1 and 1 and I click submit, it will display wrong passcode. Try again. So what if I key in wrong again? You will key in wrong, but I think this part where there's a wrong passcode, you might want to think of how to make it automatically blank in maybe 1 to 2 seconds time. So in this additional lesson, we'll be teaching you this thing called timer. Alright. Now, timer is a little bit, it's quite fun to play with. That means we are controlling time now besides the if statement. So let's look for all window forms, and you can go down to timer. Alright, this timer is quite fun. You click onto the timer and drag it into the form. Once you let go, you realize nothing happened here, but there is a timer here. And this timer has some properties here. Enabled, you realize that it is not enabled in the first place. So when do you want it to enable? Actually only when we click the button. So remember, if you don't enable this, the timing will not run. So the interval, you might want to wait for 2 seconds. So you might want to start the interval for, in terms of 1000. So 1000 milliseconds is 1 second. So you might want to set it this way. So to start, once we click onto submit button, the submit button is supposed to on the timer, and after 2 seconds, it will show the error message. After 2 seconds, you just erase the error message. So how do we do it? Let's do it slowly. Let's take a look at how the timer function works. Inside Google, we can type in timer function in VB. So you can see that there's a timer function. You can try out this timer function, click on it and see what it says. Alright, basically what we need to do in VB2017, maybe we type it in a bit properly, timer function in VB2017. Timer class, add a timer. Alright, you may want to run through this on your own. Let's try this. Alright, to add a timer, you realize this gives you an instruction. I'll just run to the VB site. You realize that timer 1 can be stopped, it can be start. So how do we count the timing? So one is you can enable the timing, and after that, after 2 seconds, how do we realize it's 2 seconds? Alright, so basically you will need to do a little bit of research into counting. So counting, you will probably need something like a stopwatch timer function in VB2017 clock, maybe. Add a countdown timer. Okay, countdown timer sounds fun. Alright, countdown timer, you will need to have some declaration of integer. So run out of time. So if time left, so what happened is, what happened here is that there is a time left. Time left is declared as an integer. So if time left is greater than 0, then it starts to minus 1, and you will show the time left. So to make it simple, if time left is 2, we can every second it ticks, we can just delete 1 minute off. Okay, we can try that on your own first before you go to the part 3 of today's lesson. But if you can do it, it'll be good. If you cannot do it, you can try harder next time. Okay, all the best, trying to see how to erase the label within 2 seconds. That's a challenge for you guys.